Well, hello there. How is everyone? You amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. It's Tuesday, baby. It's Tuesday. That's it. And we've got two videos today, just like Domino's, but less sloppy toppings. Did I say you look amazing? Because you do. And look, I've got a cat peeking out. There you go. I don't know where the other one is. Being spied upon. Anyway, I hope you have a fantastic Tuesday. We're going to get straight into the meat and potatoes. As in this video, we're going to be talking on the fact that it would appear that people around Tyler Robinson are starting to speak. We're going to just touch on something that Jesse on Fire put on his video, and also Diligent Denizen on X, as he spent some time with Tyler Robinson's grandmother. Tyler Robinson's grandmother is someone who had spoken at the beginning of the case to speak on the political viewpoints of the family, and even at that point she seemed to be quite surprised in what was going on. But let's first of all just listen to what Diligent Denizen said, or had to say. Let's go on to this screen. I believe this is the one. No, that's something for later, little teaser there. Let's check this out.
What's up, you guys? I just spent about an hour talking to Debbie, Tyler Robinson's grandmother. She said she wanted to set the record straight on some of the stories that came out. One, she never said that her grandson never fired a gun. What she said is that she didn't think that he would ever do anything like that. As far as she knows, he didn't have a lot of experience hunting, but may have used a gun before. Another thing is that it came to as a surprise to her and the entire family that Tyler Robinson was supposedly gay. As far as she had known, had no.
What I do find interesting, whether they'll extrapolate on some of this later on, I don't know. But when you think that the official narrative plays into the fact that the gun that he had was a gifted weapon. It was something that was handed to him. It was almost like a family heirloom that would go from father to son, from grandfather to grandson, whatever. The fact is that it was given. You would think that grandma would have said that, and Diligent Hair would have absolutely stated that, yeah, he did have a weapon. My husband, his grandfather, gave him the weapon. But seemingly no mention of that at all. She says that he didn't have much, or as far as she's aware, didn't have much experience hunting, and was quite shocked that they're saying that he could have made that shot. The downside is we're still in this realms of, was this shot an accurate shot or was it an inaccurate shot? Now, people have got different viewpoints on it. I saw someone yesterday say, no, that was an accurate shot. This was someone who they wanted to take away Charlie's voice, so they shot him where they shot him. I still feel that there's a potential that this was a missed shot, but I'm no professional. All I do know is that it didn't come from his lapel microphone. Not unless we've found a way to defy literal physics. But let's just get into the rest of this. Only a short clip.
That has never been the case. So she said that was a major surprise to her. She's not on Twitter or X, but she promised me that she was going to create an account. After our meeting, I left her my phone number.
That's pretty much all he goes on to say there. She's going to apparently build an account herself, make an account, open an account, and start speaking about things. We'll keep our eyes peeled for that. I'm guessing that is going to be on X, so we will do our due diligence and find information as it comes out. Also, Diligent Denizen is on X. If you are on there yourself, you can go and follow him. I find it also interesting that his sexual preferences isn't something that was known to the family, apparently. And don't get me wrong, it's not out of the realms of normality for people to hide that part of them. Do you know what I mean? It is sometimes something that individuals, especially if there are thoughts and feelings or religious issues, and when I say issues, I mean that like J.D. Vance, him and his missus, they have different religious... I won't go there. Not today. Do you know what I mean? So he may not have discussed this or came out to his family, so we don't really learn anything there. It just so much... you're in two situations there. You either... The entire story around him being in a relationship with Lance Twiggs is BS and has to be built to feed into the narrative itself to further push it, or he simply wasn't in alignment with his family to the point where he felt that he could be open about his sexuality. So again, we don't really learn anything there at this point, but what we do know is that I think the hunting thing is quite... that in itself is quite important, because ultimately you've got somebody who has chosen, apparently, to shoot Charlie Kirk. But what we're saying is that he's got no history with weapons. He's not someone who would go out hunting. He's not familiar or overly familiar with weapons. So it absolutely rules out that he was manipulating bullets, for instance. So again, you could go into the bullet itself, and the bullet that we're being told was the one that struck Charlie Kirk and how it behaved. And we're thinking to ourselves, okay, so that wasn't an adapted bullet then, because this guy doesn't really have a history of weapons. So he certainly doesn't have a history of making his own bullets in order to make them behave or potentially ruin the way that they behave. So it didn't take Charlie Kirk's head off. It just dislodged in his metal neck. So let's now just go quickly over to Tyler Robinson's Family Break Silence. An official story implodes. This is Jesse on Fire showing a clip from an interview that was done. I believe this is the neighbour of Tyler Robinson. If you're not subscribed to Jesse on Fire and you're following this case, if you're following this case, you probably are. But if not, go over and subscribe to Jesse on Fire. I will say you may not like every video that he does. He is a typical content creator, and he plays the game. He knows how to play it, and he plays it well. So that will sadly piss some people off. Don't hate the player, hate the game. But let's listen to this quickly.
Yeah, did you recognize him? Did you say, hey, that's Tyler?
Not in those pictures. I think he had covered his face well enough. But, I mean, I have their family photo on my phone, their new one, and I would have not noticed that was him.
Hey, doesn't the entire official...
So that, like I say, I believe that was the neighbour coming out and saying that when she saw the pictures of Tyler Robinson that was released, she didn't look at that and think, that's Tyler. And we said this ourselves. We came out and we said, you look at these photographs, they don't look like Tyler. They're again potato cam, which we see around pretty much every case that we end up fucking scratching our heads over. Especially when cameras are good. Do you know what I mean? We're in 2025 and camera quality is fucking bang on. When you're looking at everything else, camera footage from things that aren't in this context, where you're relying upon it to seemingly push a narrative that's questionable, then the quality completely degrades to 120p. But anything else, yeah, you've got 4K footage, baby, full colour. You can almost reach out and touch it. If it's food, you can... Yeah, I haven't had breakfast yet, I'm hungry. Do you know what I mean? But this neighbour is literally someone who's around the family, has their family photographs, and is saying, yeah, I didn't recognise him. I didn't see him. And it didn't take a genius person. You just had to have eyes and have a bit of savvy about you and not be someone who is a sheep, do you know what I mean? To look at that photo and think, hold on a second, that don't even look like him. And that's not even getting into the changes of clothing, the bag colour changing and all this sort of stuff, do you know what I mean? Or old Mr. Limpy Leg Tyler all of a sudden can Jason Bourne it off a roof and fuck off, do you know what I mean? Or he's got a gun hidden down his leg, one minute he's limping, the next minute he's not limping. We've got the elusive female who apparently he was seen with on camera. Do you know what I mean? You can just step away from all that and just look at the bare bones of it and say, well, that photo just don't look like him. Just don't look like him. Someone close to the family also saying, I didn't recognise him. And Nan's coming out and saying, well, the guy didn't hunt. I don't think he had any real experience with hunting. And, you know, we also didn't know about his sexual proclivities. And again, it's not odd, it's not bizarre, it's not out of the realms of possibility that just hit it, but it does feed into this story that we're being fed about Lance Twiggs and Tyler Robinson and the fucking madness den that they had, and the things that I went through in a live the other night that you just look at and you just think that's just utter fucking craziness. Utter craziness. But there we go. We've got to wait till January to see Tyler Robinson in court again. I do have all of the court documents as they come out. I'll just pop these on screen here. There is an abundance of docs. I'll probably go through these. Not here. Go back here. Yeah, we're following the docs. This is Andrea Burkhart. She is doing a Substack that is following all of the documents. So if you head over to Substack, search Andrea Burkhart. She is doing that. Or if you don't want to read them yourself, come and join me on Sunday and we'll go through some of the docs that are important. The last one, which was yesterday, I believe, which was a stipulated motion referencing order to preserve evidence. And that is basically, in a nutshell, the prosecution being asked to preserve evidence in the case. If there's anything that they want to remove or destroy, then they have to request that to be done, and the defence are given 14 days to contest the removal or destruction of potential evidence. An odd one. You would think that they would just keep every fucking thing, but again, there's lots of odd things around this case. Love you all. Join me later as we do talk about Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes. That'll be an interesting one. Love you all. Mwah.